one person keep the thing and,
Yeah.
fine.
So we are Uprise Sponsorship. It's, can you click on to the next one? All right. Okay. I'm Matt Messer. This is my colleague John, and I have two more colleagues, Ray and Paul. And we are Uprise Sponsorship. We created a format to connect athletes who want to get into connection with companies that want to sponsor athletes. 38.4% of revenue growth is due to marketing, and a lot of the problems that companies have is finding a good way to market and finding a good face to put onto their company.
Our goal at Uprise Sponsorship is to connect local businesses with amateur athletes for their common good. Local businesses need amateur athletes to be successful and to gain exposure, which would in turn lead to more revenue. Likewise, athletes need help from businesses to jumpstart their exposure so that they can also make more money. Take Maurice as a hypothetical example. He has 11.8 thousand followers on Instagram. He's not affiliated with anybody, but he's an avid skier. At this point of his career, he wants to do something with it, and but his following is kind of plateaued. So he would make an athlete profile where he state his name, sport, why he would want to do this, his resume, about himself, and some clips, some pictures, and links to social media in hopes of a local, or just like a company in general, finding his profile and coming together and make a mutual agreement based on it fitting both their wants and needs. Also, a hypothetical example for Meyer Skis on the business side. They are a local company in Denver, Colorado that they want to be recognized on the national scale but can't be right now because they're so small. So they would go on our website, uprisesponsorship.com. They would create a business profile that would say their company, what sports they're trying to reach, why they're on the site, and unique info. And based off that, they would try to connect with an athlete to determine or come to some mutual agreement that fits both their wants and needs. An example of this would be the business giving the athlete merchandise that they can wear, that they can show off, but in return they would have to post it online and, like I said, or on their social media accounts and just talk about it. And on the other side, the athlete could say they are affiliated with the business that would help their exposure grow.
So, progression that we've made is we've got a couple problems going on with interviews because it's hard to connect with companies that are across the states. However, we have been in contact with companies like Paintball Explosion, Quarry Cable Park, On-Up Skis, Slant Skis, Meyer Skis, to name a few, there's a couple more. We've made 6 interviews with athletes and about 4 interviews with different companies. One of the biggest problems that people have is that it's really hard for companies to actually find somebody to give a sponsorship to because they just don't have enough time. They're doing way too much work on production and other forms of marketing, and they feel like they don't have enough time. They feel like they have enough money to do it, but just not enough time. And so that's one of the things we're looking to utilize to our advantage is giving companies more time to do this, cutting down the time it takes to do it. And one of the things that none of the athletes that we've talked to have had sponsorships before, but they are all very interested in having sponsorships. And one thing that they all say is that it seems impossible to get sponsorships because there's no way to contact the companies without seeming like they're begging, and they think that if you beg to a company, it's not going to happen. In conclusion, We've got a lot of room to grow, but we're having a lot of trouble making connections.